And welcome back, everyone, to Who Would Win? It's April now, so we're just in normal territory. I'm going to have a couple extra videos out during these off weeks before I get into the weeks of. During those weeks of, it's just so crammed that trying to do an extra video, unless I get ahead of things, can be a little tricky to do. But, that being said, from Forbidden Super, we have the question of who wins in a fight? Kraven the Hunter versus Batman. Okay, so this is actually kind of interesting, because if anyone has read the Batman Beyond comics or watched Batman Beyond, you know that there is a character called Stalker. He is, in essence, the Kraven the Hunter of Batman. He legitimately hunted to Terry McGinnis Batman. Now, Terry McGinnis ultimately overcame him, but so the Batman League actually does have a Kraven to their name. Now, granted, that Kraven shows up, again, dealing with the Terry McGinnis Batman, not necessarily the Bruce Wayne Batman. So the question is, first off, do I think Kraven is a better hunter than Stalker? And I would say yes, because Stalker does rely on some surgical enhancements, whereas Kraven, well, he's relying on drugs mostly, like some special herbs that give him like enhanced physicality, even in his advanced age. He's still, despite that, there's no surgical enhancement to him beyond that. Like, it's all skill, cunning, like raw, fists, hands, basically all of it. It's all hunting. So I would say he's probably the more dangerous hunter between him and Stalker. Again, Stalker does have the advantage of some more advanced tech, but that's because he's farther into the future. Kraven, we know, is, as we said, a big game hunter. He's hunted nearly every animal or every creature on the planet, including man, and then he went Spider-Man. And he became Kraven's greatest trophy, or greatest hunt. Hence the name of the comic series, Kraven's Last Hunt, which is a fantastic comic series. If you can never get the omnibus, get it. But he is able to match Spider-Man because he is a tracker. He's a hunter. He's highly intelligent. He's patient, as a hunter should be. He knows how to set traps. He can also, if he has to, fight hand in hand. Despite the fact he's nowhere near the level of strength that Spider-Man is. It's kind of like a Kingpin scenario where he can still trade blows with Spider-Man if he needs to. It's just that Spider-Man is always holding back. If Spider-Man wanted to squish Kraven, he frankly could. It's just that's not how Spider-Man rolls. He's usually carrying weapons of all kinds, be it rifles, lots of blades on him at all times. And if he's going after a specific target, like Spider-Man, he may carry specialized items such as pesticide bombs specific towards Spider-Man's biology, as he is weak to certain pesticides. Or something that might affect his heightened senses, or something that could deal with the webbing. So he is, again, he's hunted just about everyone in at least Spider-Man's rogue gallery, including Venom. The man hunted Venom. I don't know how you would fare against, say, other individuals, though. Like, I think I did do a Kraven versus Wolverine video at one point. Wolverine would be a very difficult opponent for him to deal with, because Wolverine is also a skilled hunter. There's plenty of characters in the Marvel world that, not to mention his enhanced senses, all that. There's plenty of characters, though, in the Marvel world that he just wouldn't or shouldn't hunt. And the same would be go for DC. Like, there'd be plenty of characters he could hunt and probably do it effectively, but would he hunt them? Leading us into Batman. Now, I haven't done a Rogues Gallery versus yet of Batman versus, say, Spider-Man's Rogue Gallery. I probably should get around to that at some point, because I've already done Spider-Man versus Batman's. Probably should do that. He would most likely be the equivalent to Bane for Batman, except not as physically strong. Bane's Venom, because Bane's already in peak condition as it is. He's probably equivalent to Kraven already in base. You have the Venom, that's a 10 times multiplier. So he's already physically stronger than Bane. So on a physicality sense alone, Batman can take Kraven in a fight. I have noted. I mean, he'd be a skilled opponent. Batman would struggle with him, no doubt about that. But he would be able to handle him in a fight. But the question is less about could he handle him in a fight, even though this is a versus. It's not necessarily a versus in the sense of just a fight. A, could Kraven effectively hunt Batman? Essentially, could he hunt him down and capture him and claim him as his trophy? Could he do that? So Spider-Man does have the advantage of his spider sense, which Kraven has obviously been able to one up. Batman doesn't have that. But what Batman has well over Spider-Man is that he's rich. I mean, he's got money and he's got tech. If he felt he was being watched, he would be, he's got a freaking satellite of all things. He would be able to figure out where Kraven ultimately is. Even if he's not aware of Kraven's presence at first, it's one of those things where Kraven eventually is probably going to try to corner Batman. I don't see him doing the same thing that Bane did, because Bane's not a hunter. There's two different mentalities in that. Bane is not a hunter. He was a strategist and he wore Batman down. Kraven is a hunter. Now, that's not to say he might not hunt in a similar fashion, like maybe try to throw some other prey into the mix and see how this prey, deals with it. But I don't see him employing the same strategy as Bane did in Nightfall, where he just wore Batman down until he couldn't do anything. Beyond that, the question is, can Kraven deduce who Batman is? Because if he can't figure out who Batman is, Batman's going to have enough time to keep going back and forth to the Batcave and just do research on who Kraven is, figure it out, and realize, so this man, it would seem he's chosen you as his next target, Master Wayne. Yeah, well, then I better not disappoint him. Like, is Kraven clever enough and smart enough and resourceful enough to figure out Batman is Bruce Wayne Batman? It all depends on the version of Kraven you're really going with, because some versions of Kraven do have a fair bit of money behind them. Like, they're not like Batman level rich, but they got resources. They got tech, enough tech to kind of fund what they're doing. But he probably would study Batman at least in a similar fashion to Bane. Could he make the connections? I mean, technically speaking, most people can actually make the connections about this. But I don't know. It's possible he could, because I think he did ultimately figure out that Spider-Man was Peter Parker. Mind you, Peter Parker hides his identity not as effectively as Bruce Wayne does. Bruce Wayne literally has the money just to hire people to double for him in certain situations. He can alter footage if he has to. Like, Spider-Man wears a full body suit, which helps, but I mean, it's only so much. Let's look at it in two ways. If he doesn't figure out who Batman is, Batman's eventually going to take him down. Like, he's going to be hunting Batman, but Batman's suit, first off, is far more durable than Spider-Man's is. It can take gunfire, some pretty substantial gunfire, too. Even handle explosions. Not like nukes, but barely using explosions, and Batman can still be relatively fine. He's got built-in defense systems, so even if he tries to unmask Batman, that's going to bite him in the ass. Batman's armed to the literal teeth with God knows how much weaponry. Not lethal, usually, unless circumstances, change. But he's armed to the teeth. He's a master in hand-to-hand combat, peak physical condition. He's guaranteed he's more skilled in hand-to-hand than Kraven is. Kraven's good, but Batman's just better. So these two would probably end up duking it out on the, either in a jungle-ish park or zoo. That would actually make a lot of sense for Kraven, luring him there. So Batman would most likely win if Kraven doesn't figure out who he is. If he does figure out who he is, that does change the game. Because now he might go on to he literally might go to Wayne Manor and, have his sights set on it. Maybe not kill, but injure Alfred, and then bring him somewhere. Say, I have your comrade. I have your butler, Mr. Wayne. Mr. Vic. But Mr. Wayne, if you want him, you'll have to come and get him. And so basically, it would now be a death trap with him and Batman. Now, could he theoretically hunt Bruce while he's just in the manor? Sure, but how often is Bruce in the manor and not in Batman mode? That's the question. It's very small amount of time that Bruce is actually Bruce and not Batman in the manor. Probably when he's eating, unless he's eating at his station. When he's with Dick or Jason, any of the kids, being their guardian to their ward, then sure. But yeah, if he's going after him, say in his sleep or something, maybe. But would he consider that an effective hunt? That's the question. And again, if he figures out who Batman is, does Batman know he figured it out? That's the other thing we got to figure out. And Batman's pretty smart, but he didn't know that Bane knew who he was. It does take time and research for Batman to figure these things out. That being said, unless Kraven does have a level of honor, he does have an honor code, so I don't see him just popping Batman in his sleep. But he definitely kidnapping Alfred. Oh, that's something he'd do. Maybe even booby trapping the Batcave. Oh, that's something he'd do. It's like, yeah, I have met you on your own home, Batman. And I've claimed it as my own. Your lair is impressive, to say the least. Perhaps I should claim it as my new lair when I have mounted your head. George is just like, it's like, you're sick. Aren't we all, though, Batman? Aren't we all just seeking a trophy in the end? For me, it is your head. For you, what is it for you, Mr. Wayne? Your trophy is the redemption of the city, to protect the innocent. A valuable trait to have. The honor to have the ability to serve others. I do not possess such trait myself. Try as I have in the past. So I have embraced who I am, the hunter who claims what is his. And him and Batman would duke it out in the Batcave. And again, if Kraven's got time to lay traps, Batman could be in some trouble. But I think Batman has escaped more than enough death traps and has dealt with individuals, not exactly like Kraven, but definitely in the vein of Kraven. Again, a Bane would kind of be his equivalent of Kraven and vice versa. Kraven's Spider-Man's Bane, more or less. Because Kraven's Last Hunt is kind of Spider-Man's version of Nightfall to some degree. Not a 1-to-1, but you know what I mean. It is kind of at least his equivalent story. Being hunted by someone, and ultimately the hunter succeeds. But then the hero ultimately comes back. So, yeah, I think no matter which way you splice it, I think Batman would struggle with Kraven. Oh, he would. No matter how you look at it. But I think Batman still would come out on top overall. He's got more than enough gadgets and tech, resources. He's more skilled. He is overall more intelligent, too. So I think even though Kraven would give him problems, I think Batman takes it the bulk of the time. I'm not saying there aren't situations where Kraven probably could win. I'm just saying Batman's got the lion's share of it. But that's just my opinion. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.